Okay, so we're doing something a little different today.
Yeah, we're still reacting though.
We're still reacting.
Still reacting.
We're always
and it is
reacting.
To some tattooed person.
I wake up in the morning and I think, I can't wait to react.
Yeah, I know, right? This feels like a reactive day.
Yeah.
Well, I say person, but at the same time, we're reacting to a person that is transforming.
Yep.
Also known as the Black Alien Project.
Yeah, one of the most prolific body mods projects
I would
of our
say
times.
so.
Maybe the most.
Yep.
I would say overall the most. Maybe I think there's some people that aren't as known about as him that are doing similar things.
Yep.
So, but for whatever reason, his project has really been the one. Right.
Well, I feel like
it's inspired a lot of other people too.
He's doing a lot that is, in my opinion, unexplored territory.
Yeah, I think some of it has been touched upon.
Okay, I'm interested to hear that.
I've heard that the finger removal thing has been done before.
Really?
I've heard that it has, though I don't know anyone. Like there are no public individuals that have done it.
Oh, okay.
Now I can't confirm it because like whenever people talk about the things that he's doing, it's like, oh well, someone has done this thing before or that thing before, but no one on this level has done this kind of stuff before.
And to this notoriety.
Yeah, and I think it's also the all at once visceral kind of shocking imagery. Mm-hmm. And I get this a little bit too because it's not just the piercings, it's not just the tattoos, it's everything working at once, right?
Yeah.
So like you have a lot going on here and it takes you by storm.
Yeah.
So it makes you stop and go, huh, right?
Yeah, the is correct.
Because there's a lot.
Yeah. I'm going to be of the mind of there's some biology things that I take into consideration with all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I have concerns.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell me about some of those concerns?
Well, there's practicality, right? When you remove your pinky, you lose half the strength of your hand. Mm-hmm. So this guy, this person, I don't know.
This person, I
alien?
think
This alien?
Alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has he's a strong person. He was a well-built dude.
Yeah.
Before he started this body
great
mod thing.
shape.
He was great shape.
Handsome fella.
Yeah. And it all of a sudden becomes a practicality thing. If you lose those two fingers, your strength diminishes considerably. So if you're trying to remain of a certain size, it's going to be quite difficult.
That was one of my things with the finger removals. How do you stay in shape?
Yeah.
Now I said that to someone once, and they were telling me that there are ways of still braces for your wrists or something.
Wrist wraps. Yep.
I mean I don't know how that would translate.
Certainly, yeah. There's pro bodybuilders that don't have hands, and they're shredded.
Insane.
Yeah. So I know it's certainly possible, but it's just more difficult. So for me, it's a practicality thing. So there's a lot of this where he's sacrificing practicality for pure aesthetic.
Yeah.
So his ears, our ears are designed for a reason. That makes it a little bit tougher to hear.
On that note, people ask me all the time if the holes have affected my hearing.
Yeah.
And I give the same honest answer every time. I can't really give you a straight answer because I've done it so gradually.
Right.
So my experience, I could hear even better. I could hear worse. Who knows? But I've done it so gradually that I can't tell any difference at all.
Yeah.
Apparently, when I've heard this from someone who knows him sort of closely, when he cut off his ears, there was a change in his hearing. He could hear more, and he couldn't discern the direction of the noise.
So the ear is a funnel, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of determining direction and your spatial awareness, that's what the ear is designed for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's meant to work with your eyes, right? So it's you're taking in sound, but it's funneling into that direction. So if you remove that funnel, it just is more ambient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're hearing more from behind you than you would normally, which I would be curious to ask you how it affected his equilibrium.
Oh, yeah. Well, apparently it did have a big effect on the way he hears things, but I don't know if that lasts forever or not. It's another one where
your body's pretty good at acclimatizing to things.
Yeah.
Finding a new normal, you know what I mean? And then the other side is the nose. That we have nose hair and the shape of the nostril is a certain way for a particular purpose. So I'd be interested to see if he had an increased amount of getting colds and things like that.
So I have a version of this, but not to this level where I have the giant hole in my septum, right?
Yeah.
and the hair's still trying growing around it, and then they just pull, like they kind of stick out, and then I can pluck them, but like they don't stop growing. So I don't know what happens to that. And also, like, I can, when I'm breathing in the cold, I can feel that air go through the hole in my nose. I can only imagine what it must be like to feel that, like,
it's gotta be wild.
Like, you can't, there's no blocking it.
It
must just go right inside you. It's like a new sense. That's what I would think anyway.
He's got, like he has a whole new human experience. Or if you're, I mean, he's trying to aim for non-human or
inhuman.
Human 2.0.
Some kind of beyond human.
Beyond human.
See, this is where, like, a lot of people have grouped me together with some of these more extreme acts, but I don't associate with it because, though I think this is cool in its own way. I'm not trying to transcend human or become something different. I'm just modifying human, right? Like it's very traditional in a way. It's piercings and tattoos. It's not necessarily, changing the human form.
Human
so much.
1.0. With 1.1.
1.1. This is 2.0 or 5.0.
5.9.
So 5.9.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to go through a couple of things. We got a couple before and afters.
See, I've seen lots of women react to pictures like this, like, oh, it's such a shame. He was such a good-looking guy, like that kind of thing. But I think that's such a selfish way to look at this.
Of course.
Because, like, for all you know, lady, he likes this more. And, I don't think he has any trouble with women either.
Probably not.
Which is, like, maybe counterintuitive to people, but, like, I've seen him posing with some really good-looking women.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Recently, like, where it's, like, on the cover of magazines kind of thing, right? Like,
well, I think like pushing anything to the extreme is a fairly attractive quality. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's like you're pushing the boundaries. That means you're kind of like a I don't know, go-getter. You're explorative, like you're exciting, that kind of thing. So I would assume that it's quite a draw.
Yeah, I would think so. Like it does exude a level of confidence too, to be able to look at all of society and go, I was this, which worked for people, and now I'm this, and I don't care. Right? I don't care what people think. And then kind of to show the size of the guy, like he was pretty big. I mean, I'm sure he's still probably pretty big. Yeah, he is. He's still in great shape.
Man, that's crazy.
But that being said, like he did just cut off his fingers, what was it, 5-6 months ago?
I never thought I'd be saying that phrase.
Well, yeah, I know.
He did just cut off his fingers.
Strange thing to say. But,
if it's not necessary, it seems strange. But
huge guy and like a model-looking guy.
Yeah, he's handsome.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a handsome dude.
And this is definitely an older one of these transformations.
Yeah. And here's another one.
Yeah,
similar pose.
Yeah, this is older too. He's still got his lips here.
Again, phrases I never thought I'd say.
He doesn't have his labret piercing, which a lesser but still extreme mod for me is he had scalpeled a 20 millimeter labret all at once.
Oh, okay.
So like people will scalpel big labrets. So I'm not saying that isn't done, but usually they're done between, say, like 8 and 12. They're not done all like a 20 millimeter is bigger than what I'm wearing right now.
Crazy.
My biggest I was 26 millimeter. You wouldn't want to do that all at once because it changes the way your mouth functions.
Right.
But what's unique about what he did is this was after he removed his lips.
Wow.
So it's like that labret is like there's no lip there. So it's just it's sitting somewhere in here, but there's no lip to kind of
hold it.
Yeah. So I don't know what that must feel like.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's got to be a struggle to live with.
I would think so. And the thing about, I will mention, when you scalpel a labret out, like I was able to reduce the size of mine. I could keep reducing it if I wanted. I could keep going down. It would take a while, right? But when you scalpel something, it doesn't shrink the same way.
Oh, okay.
Because you've removed that skin.
Yeah.
Where what I've done is stretch it. So scalpeling most certainly needs to be stitched up.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't need to. I'm not saying this would reduce all the way to nothing eventually, but like when you scalpel something, the skin doesn't regrow necessarily. You've cut that out now.
Yeah, I guess
it's a different
made it
thing.
Pretty final.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
And there's different scar tissue, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's just go to some of these. So this is the ears.
Yeah, this is the ears, and this shows off some of the
implants, right?
Implants that he's got underneath, subdermal implants. which is, again, I would think that these have been done multiple times
I would
to get to
assume
that
so.
level, because you can only put so much under the skin or it'll break.
yeah.
Right? So you have to go in and do these things multiple times. It's, again, like kind of like what we're doing with the this, where it has to be done multiple times, the
Yeah.
white on black and all that.
Yeah.
A lot of these things, people just see them and they go, "Oh, that must have hurt." It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, 9 times it hurt.
Yeah.
Like, you don't. A picture doesn't speak unless you know what it's saying.
Yeah.
Almost, right. Like, I can look at this and go, "That is a lifelong commitment,"
Yeah.
or at least a lot of commitment, years of commitment, and over again the pain. Right.
Yeah.
Like, going into that stuff to get these horns and implants and stuff to be this visible under the skin. You've got to do this a couple times.
God, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And then I guess the most extreme of the body mods, the finger removal.
Yeah, this was the one that, and I know we've already talked a bit about this, but this was the line for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see where it goes beyond that, because a lot of people were like in support of this
Yeah.
until the fingers.
Yep.
And then they were like, "You lost me." Right? Like, that was the line where people were like, "Lol, what?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how? Why?
Yeah.
But again, as I've said, people have come out and said this is not the first instance of finger removal. So, like, other than for his project, I understand he's trying to create the claw, and I'm not shaming anyone who wants to do this.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. If you have some reasoning for this, why? I don't get the function. I understand what he's going for.
Yeah.
But in regards to the people that have done it before him,
Right.
like, is it just to see if you can?
I mean, that's a lot of the world, right? That's a lot of what we're doing in, like, I mean, Elon Musk's trying to go to Mars.
Fair.
It's like kind of like the same vibe.
I think it's got to be.
You know what I
like,
mean?
it really has to just be, I wonder if this works.
Yeah, really.
Right? Like, I
Wonder
wonder
if
if
we
you
can
can do it.
And he obviously has a surgeon that's like, yeah, let's try it.
Yeah, there's a lot of really progressive surgeons out there, not necessarily in North America.
No. Well, I don't think you could have a license and do this.
No, I think it's somewhere more like maybe like, I've heard a lot of this stuff gets done in Mexico and places
Yeah.
like that. Like,
Yeah.
now don't quote me on that, but I've heard like there are doctors that are as
Yeah.
good at this stuff that they
Well,
don't see things the way we do in North America.
Some of the best cosmetic surgeons in the world are in Brazil.
Sure.
So, I mean, I'm sure there's places that will do it. Obviously, there's at least one.
Yeah, well, our way of looking at things here doesn't necessarily match up to other places around the world, right?
No.
We're kind of
We have a lot of government involvement in a lot of things.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, this kind of lost me, and like, if I'm honest, the thing that I have the hardest time with is like, and this is just a pragmatic thing. If you're removing things, you're developing a level of scarring, and then you're having to tattoo over said scarring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like in that previous photo, he has black on his hand, in over the scar. Like, I don't know if he's putting makeup on that while it's healing, because this is how. When did he remove these?
I think it's been 5 or 6 months now. Could have been a little longer. Somewhere in that area.
Most scarring takes years
Yeah.
to be able to be tattooable.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna irritate the scar, and it's just gonna drop out anyway. So, I don't know what he's doing there, but I mean, hopefully he hasn't tattooed it yet.
So I do know that he's not fully tattooed.
Yeah,
Like, he
makes
doesn't
sense.
have like if you were to go ink for ink, like
Yeah.
quantity wise, there's just no comparison between the two of us.
No.
That's not me bragging. That's
just
his
ours.
thing isn't necessarily like full tattoos. It's
Yeah.
like body mod, right?
Yeah.
So, but I would imagine what happens here eventually is he wants both remaining fingers black and black over the scar, too,
yeah.
completely. I don't know how long you're looking at for that, especially the level of work that he's going for. You would need to dedicate quite a few passes to
Yes.
that to get it to be good.
Yeah, and like the hand finger area, and then over a scar. Like, man, that's some pain.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've tattooed over scar on my knuckles.
Yeah.
Like, real bad scar there, and like, that's a wild time.
Yeah, man. You're not
If you've
wrong.
got that deep scar, yeah, it's not fun.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's cool. Again, the fingers lost me, but it's okay.
I have a unique way of looking at this, I think, and that I don't necessarily understand the drive to do this, but I have a deep admiration and respect for people who are like seeing what's possible and pushing things, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that people have told me are impossible that I've
They are
just
now.
gone ahead and tried, and
Yeah.
hey, they're not.
Yeah.
Right? I think I'm not saying more people should do this necessarily, but more people should be open to pushing the boundary and seeing what actually is achievable.
Totally.
Because then the rest of us can observe that and go, oh, well, that worked for him. Maybe I could do a little something like that.
Yep.
You know?
No, I agree with you. All right, so we're going to keep reacting to some different tattooed celebrities as well. And
Yes.
then so if you have anybody that you want us to react to, feel free to either comment their name or send us some of their pieces.
Yeah,
and
for sure. That'll be a
Instagrams
lot
and
of
things
fun.
like that. And yeah, we'll keep on chatting.
Cool.